It's time to talk about the important issues for the natural state. And there's only one place to turn for that. Opportunity Arkansas's Nick Horton. You can find Nick's work at opportunityarkansas.org.
Hey, good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome back to First News, first day of October. And, of course, it's just about 20 minutes in front of 8 o'clock. And that means it's time to talk with Nick Horton, the founder and CEO of Opportunity Arkansas. He's on the American Leak Detection phone lines this morning. And, Nick, good morning to you. Welcome back to the show. How are you this week?
Well, I feel like we just did this yesterday, but it's, I guess that's what happens when you're having fun.
I don't know if is that a good or bad thing?
It's good. It's good for me. I don't know what your listeners think, but it's good for me.
Everyone says it's all nice. So when they're quiet, everything's good. When they hate something, I'll tell you what, it gets real loud in here. So we're doing good at this.
All right. No news is good news.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
we'll take it.
And even got a couple of compliments, at least last week. So we're on the right track, I do believe.
Really? For me or you?
It was for you, for some of your information.
Oh,
they don't compliment me. Wow. I'm here every day. I'm part of the
yeah.
fabric of the wall. So.
You're the train whistle that goes by. It sounds the same every day.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit about. Just want your initial thoughts on the we're calling it the Schumer shutdown, the government shutdown. Democrats holding their votes back unless a bunch of Obamacare programs got extended. So. How do you feel about this shutdown? I mean, obviously, I think any of these shutdowns are unwarranted because we all have to balance our budget, but except the elected officials in our government cannot. But what are your initial thoughts on this federal government shutdown?
Yeah, a few things. I haven't followed it super closely, as you know, Toby. We stay super in the weeds with what's going on here at the state level, but
right.
Obviously you can't avoid it entirely if you're on social media, if you're reading the news, and you're staying up to date. I just want to say how frustrating I find all of this, that I feel like every day, every week I turn around and this is happening again, and we're having this debate again, and Chuck Schumer's on TV saying, oh, this is the Republicans, they want to kill people. And frankly, even some of the people that are our friends that we like that are on the Republican side that are more conservative go on TV and say, oh, this is Democrats, they just want to kill people, they just want to shut everything down. I'm exhausted with it.
Yeah.
And I think that, honestly, it's not just me. I think probably a lot of your listeners resonate with that the finger pointing and the tattletaling and can we just, I've got an 8 and a 5-year-old, they behave better than this. It's really it's just shocking to me that every time we turn around, every couple months, here we are again. And I'm mixed on it from a policy standpoint because I do think, and this may stir some people up, but I'd be fine with most of the government shutting down and staying shut down, right? And so, I think it's a helpful thing in some ways to have this forced conversation about, well, what is the essential role of government, and do we really need all of these non-essential employees that are going to be off work for a few weeks? You hate it for them, but from what I understand, most of them still get paid, right? And so, is it really that big of a catastrophe, right? And I know that is a part of it too, right? People are struggling. The economy is still not great. People are still trying to make ends meet. And so it's difficult on the families and the people that depend on these jobs, but there's just so much dysfunction, and it's so exhausting. I think Congress's approval rating is 11 or 12%, something like that now. And this is why they can't pass a basic. And when was the last time? People don't realize these continuing resolutions, this is not the way it's supposed to work.
No.
Congress is supposed to pass a budget, but they haven't done that in a decade.
Yeah.
And so they just do these short-term spending bills. They circumvent the entire process. It becomes this big sideshow. I'm just exhausted with it, and I don't know what it's going to take to change it. If anyone can do it, I would think it's probably Trump. But it's time to figure out a way to do something different because this is just ridiculous.
Can I tell you one of the comments that just came in on the American Leak Detection text line?
Yeah.
It says, Nick for governor. I like that one.
Oh, that'll get some people stirred up. Yeah, let's stir that pot a little bit. Oh, boy.
I just wanted to relay that one to you, so I thought that was pretty good when it came in.
That's probably my mom. Thank you, Mom. I love you.
Yeah. That's very nice of her. So, speaking of moving back home here, I want to talk a little bit about Arkansas government. And here in Arkansas, still have this big tax surplus going on. And first off, I'm not even sure if I know the number right now. I don't know if you know what the surplus number is for this year so far. But secondly, what type of momentum is there in our state to, last time we talked about this, you said we got to get to a special session. Otherwise, you're waiting until the next General Assembly, which is a couple years away still, or less than a couple years, a year and a half anyways. But to get some sort of a tax reform going on here in Arkansas, I mean, what type of momentum is there to try and get our governor to call some sort of a special session and then obviously enact some sort of tax reform? And then I was asking about if you knew what the surplus number was as well.
So let me start with the numbers, and in fact, I realize it's October 1st. The new numbers are going to be coming out really anytime in the next 24 to 48 hours. So next week, it'd be great. We could touch on this again and talk a little bit about, okay, what does September look like? But here's what we know so far. The fiscal year starts in July, and just a reminder for folks, I was trying to use too many numbers, Toby. I'm not good at math, and I don't want to have to take my shoes off. I just put them on for the first. Yeah, I just put them on for the first time this week. I don't want to take them off.
Right.
But last fiscal year, all 12 months ended in June 30th. Mm-hmm. We brought in nearly $400 million more than we needed.
Right.
$368 million more for the entirety of the last fiscal year. That's a surplus. That's money state government doesn't need to pay the bills, to avoid a government shutdown, to keep the basic functions of government going. Nearly $400 million. But we didn't do any income tax cuts. We didn't do any income tax cuts in the regular session. We were told there would be a special session. It looks like now that is probably not going to be the case.
Yeah. But
$400 million. Just in the first 2 months for July and August of this year, it is over $100 million in surplus.
Wow.
Right now. Just for 2 months. So $100 million plus $400 million, I can use my hand for that one. That's $500 million.
Yep, no, that
right?
was good.
$500 million in surplus. And if, it's hard to know. Predictions are tough to make, especially about the future. Mm-hmm. But it looks like if that trend continues, we'll be at a $500 to $600 million surplus again at the end of this year. So the question is, which I have still not gotten an answer to, I've heard a lot about, well, we've done a lot already. And we've gone from 6.9 to 3.9 in record time, 8 years, 9 years. And that's true. And that's good. And let's recognize that. But what I haven't been told, no one has answered this question, is why are we not doing more income tax cuts right now? We had a $400 million surplus. We're exceeding all of the, and by the way, it's not just income tax revenue. It's sales tax revenue. And that's the point that gets lost in all of this too. We've slashed our income tax rate over and over and over again. And guess what? The revenues continue to go up. They continue to exceed projections. They continue to set record levels. Why is that? Well, it's basic economics. It's the most basic economic concept in the world. If you let people keep more of their money, they will spend it. They will spend it better than government does, and they will put it back into the economy. They'll go buy things. They'll invest it. And that revenue is going to come back in all sorts of other ways. They'll create jobs. I mean, that's ultimately the goal of a lot of this, right, is we want to make Arkansas more competitive economically. So I don't know, Toby. I mean, we have not really been given an answer to that question as to why this is not happening. I could conjecture and theorize about that a little bit. But there's a little bit of hope. We had, and he broke this news a couple weeks ago when I filled in for Steve Finnegan. We had on State Representative David Ray, and he shared with the audience that he thinks there is some serious, significant momentum to try to do another income tax cut in the fiscal session, which would be in April of next year. So 6 months, 7 months out from now, who knows, right? We don't know for sure if that's going to happen. The goalposts have already been moved a couple times on this.
Right.
But there seems to be some growing optimism that that's going to happen. And certainly we're going to continue to talk about this. I have every reason to believe that the revenue numbers for September, which will come out this week, are going to be just as high, if not higher. And that is going to continue to create positive pressure on policymakers to say, hey, we got to give some of this money back to the taxpayers and the people of Arkansas.
Well, and Nick, recently I was reading a story about the governor was talking with the feds with Congress about, hey, we need to do some things for our farmers here in Arkansas because they're coming up short with some different aspects of what they do, which obviously is extremely important. I mean, even directing some of the money like that. Now, that is not part of the tax reform, obviously, but I mean, just letting this money sit there doesn't seem right, and then asking the Fed for money when we've got extra money doesn't seem right. Just the whole ball of wax here seems like it's really off. And so, as the public, I mean, what do we do as the public? I mean, do we call the governor? Do we write letters? I mean, what is the action that kind of helps put some pressure on this situation so that they do maybe do it at the fiscal session in April next year, or maybe call a special session? I mean, how do you kind of leverage that?
I definitely always want to encourage folks to reach out to their state representatives and their state senators and tell them, hey, I'm seeing the news and I'm watching these revenue numbers, and hey, families in Arkansas are struggling. Right, still, the price of everything is still sky high. It's still going up. I've felt that. So many of your listeners felt that. We've all felt it. And all this money, to your point, is just sitting there.
Yeah.
And let's give some of it back to taxpayers. We gave state employees a raise. We've given teachers a raise. We've given all these raises and increased state spending. We increased Medicaid spending by over $150 million this legislative session. We're giving Blue Cross these massive premium increases. We're spending all of this money on all these other things. And so, yes, I think short answer is contact your legislators, contact the governor's office, whoever it is. But, yeah, there needs to be some grassroots attention on this issue. I think it's really easy. You mentioned farming. There's the government shutdown.
I got another one that just came in. I got another one that just came in on the text line. Why don't we have a tax-free weekend once a quarter? Why is it just once a year? You know, I mean, there's another way that you could save some taxes.
How about every 2 weeks when we get our paycheck? I'd be for that.
Yeah.
No, it's a great question, and I think my point where I was going with all that is like there's so many issues, and so if we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, it's very easy. I work with politicians every day. It's very easy to get distracted. They've got calls from constituents. They've got re-elections coming up. There's all of these things, and so even 3 or 4 phone calls, texts, emails can make a difference to let them know, hey, this is still something that the people care about and that we expect this to happen. And then the other thing I would say is, I mean, shameless plug here, Toby, forgive me, but go to opportunityarkansas.org and sign up for our email list.
That's right.
We are tracking this issue. We are writing about this issue. We just published some new polling on this issue. We've got a whole new campaign called Pay As We Grow. My goal is to, frankly, take this decision out of the hands of politicians and say we're going to put this on an automatic path to zero. When these surpluses happen, there will be automatic tax cuts, so this money is automatically given back to the people who earned it and paid for it, and we're going to give taxpayers a raise all the way down until we get the state income tax fully eliminated. And so those are a couple tangible things, but it's not going to happen unless we all keep the momentum and sort of keep raising the pressure. The attention on this issue. That's right.
A couple more texts that came in. Get rid of personal property tax, and then one last one. I'm voting for Nick, even if he isn't on the ballot. So those are the texts this morning, Nick.
Write me in.
Yeah,
I'm ready for dog catcher.
That's what we're doing. Yep. So, of course, you can find Nick and all of his work at opportunityarkansas.org. That is the website. You also find him on Facebook, Twitter. They got a great YouTube channel as well. Just search them out at Opportunity Arkansas, and you will find all of those resources. But, Nick, always enjoy having you on the air, and we'll see. We'll see if we're going to get a campaign put together for you. It sounds like the people want it, and we're a station of the people, so we may have to work on this. But always appreciate the time, man. We'll do it again next week.
All right. Look forward to it. Thanks, brother.